I'm telling the doctors and the nurses, okay, I'm just ready to go home so I can start getting better. And like, there's something wrong with him. He's not dealing with the impact or the grief or the anger that comes along with being hurt or being injured by not doing anything wrong. And I couldn't change it. It already happened and I was just ready to move forward.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where, yeah, man, we share with you real live stories of inspiration, motivation, persistence, because we want to inspire you to push and live your absolute best life. And today I'm excited. I have Jerome Meyers with us. Jerome, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, bro.
Man, I'm so excited to be here. I don't know what to do.
Well, the first thing you can do is tell us what it is that you do. How do you inspire? How do you bring value to the lives of others?
I think the best, biggest gift that I give to the world is telling people that their dreams should be real. And by that simple statement, it convicts them because I know there are a ton of people out there who've put their dream on the shelf and they're scared to go get it off. And so it's collecting dust. And what they don't realize is there is somebody out there who's counting on them to do the thing that they were put here to do.
Mm.
And every day, every minute, every hour, every second that they don't do it, they're putting somebody else behind.
Yeah, I so agree with that, my man. So if someone wanted to learn how to go get that dream off the shelf and blow off all the dust, I know you can help them. How would they find you, Jerome?
And you got to take the red pill, right? It's our model for a centered life, and it starts with self image, right? You got to get your relationship with yourself right, and that's internal work, writing, journaling, reading, listening to positive content that's going to help improve your self image and self esteem, and then start working on the relationships with the people that are around you, and that'll lead to improved performance in your work. Then we take that and move into making sure that our health is in peak performance or peak shape. Then you move to prosperity because you're going to have some great life because you've got plenty of energy because your health is amazing. And then the last piece is significance, where you're working on your legacy and positively impacting those around you with all the gifts and talents that you've learned along the way.
Indeed. So how would they find you in order to get that red pill?
Yeah, jeromemyers.co, Myers. I know some people like that extra E, but that's not me.
JeromeMyers.co. That's awesome, my man. So the other thing I want to know, Jerome, that's really critical is your keep on pushing story. We want to hear of a time when you had to overcome a significant hurdle or you had to stretch out of your comfort zone to go accomplish something amazing. So please do tell us your keep on pushing story.
Yeah, I don't know that this one is super amazing, but it's something that I don't really share all that often. So I'd love to give it to you and let your listeners hear on this one. So in August 13th, 2005, I left my house to go find a barbershop. I just moved in, and this was 2 weeks after I moved in. So it's time for a haircut. And I go off on this journey, and I didn't know GPS or any of that stuff at the time. I was just wandering around the city, and this was a one stoplight town, right? And so I turned and I kept driving and I didn't find a barbershop. I came back the other way, and on my journey, a dump truck crossed the center line and hit me head on while I was going 55 miles per hour. Um, Dashboard engine came back, dashboard pinned me on my legs, had to be cut out and then medevaced to the hospital, which was about an hour away. Um, 14 or 15 hours of surgery later, I had rods in my femurs because I broke both of my legs. That's the top bone on your legs. I broke my kneecap, and I was in ICU for a few days. Get out of ICU, go to the orthopedic floor, And I'm telling the doctors and the nurses, okay, I'm just ready to go home so I can start getting better. And like, there's something wrong with him. He's not dealing with the impact or the grief or the anger that comes along with being hurt or being injured by not doing anything wrong. And I couldn't change it. It already happened and I was just ready to move forward. And I think the acceptance of, hey, it doesn't do me any good to be upset with the person who did the thing. I just need to move on to the new thing, the new life, and deal with whatever changed. And understanding that you have to decide what it means for you. Nobody else can do that. Nobody can force you to do anything. You decide what the event means for you, and then you act accordingly. And I think that is probably one of the most freeing lessons that anybody can learn. Nobody can force you to do anything. You get to decide when you live at an elevated level. And I might get a little woo woo here, but the fact of the matter is, when we're carnal, then we just react to whatever happens. There's no gap, there's no thought. When we're operating at a higher level, we create space to make a decision and then respond to the stimulus that happened. And so for me, I wasn't upset, mad, and frustrated with the person who made the mistake and caused a collision. I was just ready to move to the new space so I could learn how to walk again, begin to get my fitness back, and get back to work and some of the other things that I created for my life.
How did you eventually convince the medical staff that, yeah, you were ready to move on?
Yeah, there wasn't anything else they could do for me. It was just going to take time for the bones to heal. So they put me in the wheelchair and gave me physical therapy so I could figure out how to move from the bed to the wheelchair without putting a bunch of pressure on my legs. And then they sent me home to recuperate. And I was out of work for like 3 months. And then eventually I got a walker and started putting along with my walker. And then eventually a cane. And then eventually I was able to walk again. And so, and there's nothing better than being able to walk again. And once you realize that you might not be able to walk for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So my man, is that the biggest lesson then, that obviously things are going to happen to us that we have absolutely no control over, and the best way forward is simply just to kind of accept that this is the way it is. And what are the steps between accepting this is how it is and moving on to the next thing, the new thing?
Yeah, I think, and I'll tell you that I take responsibility for that happening. Had I known where I was going, I probably wouldn't have been there in that instant. And if I wasn't there in that instance, then I wouldn't have been in that accident. And what I will say though is, after you accept that this thing has happened, you have to decide what it means for you. And you can either decide to be a victim or a victor. This happened to me means you're a victim. This happened for me means you're a victor. And if you choose the victor path, then you use that thing as a catalyst to create good. Usually the victims are trying to create some pain for somebody else to reflect the pain that they feel for whatever happened in the situation. And so what I want to do is create good from it, regardless of what it is, take the lesson and move on.
Yeah.
And from there, it's committing to whatever the new goal is, and then committing to the actions that it takes in order to accomplish that new goal.
Yeah. Um, really powerful lessons, my man, because a lot of people in your situation would not take responsibility. But you're absolutely right. Had you known where you're going, you would have made different choices, taken different actions, which probably would have ended up with different results. And so you do have a role to play in the accident. I agree. It's one of those things that most people, though, would have a hard time, really difficult time uh, concluding, right? But it's when you accept responsibility and embrace the reality, that's the thing that empowers you to move to the next level. Would you agree?
Without question.
Yeah. So, wish you, kind of wish you didn't have to go through the pain of that and trauma of that accident, but you did and you came through. So, thank you for sharing that experience with us and also the amazing lessons that you took away from the experience. Thanks much.
For sure. Glad to share.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this, if you found it valuable, please leave a comment below and don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell because you'll get a notification every single time we share one of these amazing videos. Just as importantly, share it. Don't forget that. Your friends want to be inspired as well. And in fact, if you go to my website, www.devonharris.com, and you subscribe to my newsletter, this and other amazing videos like it will appear magically in your inbox. All right? So until we connect next time, yeah, man, keep on pushing.